Good morning. It's November the 27th, 2017, the first day of trading after a 4-day holiday weekend. We did trade on Friday. We did have reasonable volumes. The news focus this week will be the Senate's passage of Trump's tax bill, which is not guaranteed. Although McCain did give himself a back door. He says, well, they had bipartisan back and forth negotiations at the committee level. That was a good thing. So McCain might actually vote for this. Then you have Corker, Flake, all the others out there that may or may not. So it's hard to say, but it's not guaranteed. I tell you this, McConnell, the pressure is really on him to actually get something done. So I'm guessing that the Senate will pass it and that it will go to committee. On Wednesday, Yellen speaks to the Joint Committee on Economic Something in front of Congress. She's a lame duck, but they'll be looking for language that the expected rate increases coming in December. And her comments about the strength, weakness of the economy, etc. So those are the news items hanging over the markets this week. We'll start with our disclaimer. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations, unlike an actual performance record. Simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have under or overcompensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. We have news today. New home sales, 620. Usually not much of a market maker. Number could come in higher than forecast. Why? Because of the hurricanes Harvey and Irma. Dallas Fed, 24.5. Could come in higher than forecast because of the strength in the oil industry. The market is trading up, and we have the 5- and 7-year auctions today, which I think is a bigger factor in the strength of treasuries than anything else is going to be. It's hard to move the paper easily in a down market. So, this is the 2- and the 5-year. So my guess is the market will trade up into the 2-year, which is at 1130. And it can be up or down into the 5-year, but I think we'll look for selling it for the 5-year, which is at 1 o'clock Eastern. So I think the long side's a better way to play it into the auction. So we had a buy 25.29 and 17 to 21. On the sell side, I had 31s. The resistance is at 4, so I had 31s to 03. Selling 03 looks reasonable. Then 7 to 11 for sell 2. But I think we've got probably the biases to the upside through 11:30 Central Time. I hope all your teams won this weekend. I didn't watch one football game. Tennessee got blown out by Vanderbilt. Glad I didn't watch that one. How things have changed. Now, there's only one football program in the entire United States that has never had a 4 and 8 year. Tennessee was one of them. Ohio State is the other one. So Ohio State's the only one major football program that hasn't had a 4 and 8. Tennessee lost a lot of stuff, and then their coaching search I see blew up over the weekend. So things are not good in Knoxville, Tennessee, and don't look to get better. Okay, we are at resistance, so 20 to 24 is number 1, 27.31 sell 1, 3 to 7 sell 2. On the buy side, the breakout came from 13 or 14. We're at 19 right now, so 8 to 12, number 1. 1 to 5, buy 1. And 25 to 29, buy 2. We're supposed to be 75 degrees today. It was in the 60s over the weekend. It is wild. Now, I don't mind global warming. I'd argue with you all day what the cause of it is. My take on it is the sun. And if you have any doubt on it, that, just go back and read the real stuff. But I don't mind sitting on the deck and Thanksgiving and a long sleeve light shirt, reading a book, enjoying the weather. I can handle that, although I do like cold weather. Don't have any trouble with that either. Gold snapped back. It sold on Friday a little bit. Come back pretty nicely, so we're at resistance, 95, 97, sell 1. We've been talking about stops above 1300 for a long time. We're there, so I think the best trade would be like a selling 12.99.50s, 12.99.90s, somewhere in there, and see if we can come back and take out 97 if we can't get out of the way. But we've been talking about stops above 1300 for a couple, 3 weeks anyway. The London low is 90. We're at 94, so 90, 92. Buy 1. 85, 87, buy 2. Talk about explosive markets. On Coinbase, I played with it for a long time and been trying to buy Ethereum at 275 and couldn't get it. And for some reason on the 16th, I just said finally, it was below $300 and I wasn't having any luck buying it below the market. So I said screw it. And I went in at 296. The price was 298. When I filled, my cost ended up at about 302. So it's pretty expensive. It's 2% in, 2% plus in, 2% plus out. It's not cheap. Transaction costs. Well, I'm in at $300. It hit $480 over the weekend, and I'm not claiming or professing any brilliance or knowing at all what I'm doing. I don't know what makes it go up or go down. Zimbabwe was what they said caused that initial surge, and it makes sense. May or may not be true. But I think what's happening right now is that people are looking at government fiat currencies and the rest of it, which are built on thin air. And this one actually has more substance. You can count the supply and you can play the demand off of that. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's fun up there. Definitely springtime. So gold to me probably is being driven by some of the forces that are driving Bitcoin and the others. Ethereum does not go as quickly or as rapidly as Bitcoin, but when they get futures on that, we're going to have some fun with that. It'll be transparent. We can actually do something with it. We can see what we're doing as opposed to just getting in and sucking it up. I still haven't figured out how to buy a round lot in this. I'm working on it though. Okay, the euro is higher. 120 is a trading target. So 65, 75, sell 1. 120 even, sell 2. That's a nice round number. I like that trade. On the buy side, 30 to 40, buy 1. 15 to 25 by 2. But when you look at global warming, mankind has prospered. And cold kills. There's no doubt about it. When the little ice age kicked in after, I think, 1400, the world's population went down and people were killed due to lack of food and the diseases that are associated with wintertime. Okay, crude oil. All sorts of stuff is coming out of the Middle East. Supposedly the crown will pass power this week to the new prince. We'll see if that is true. Got a B behind us right here. Do a J split. So volume is moving lower. So key volume's down here basically at 58. 58.50 to 75, sell 1. 59.59 and a quarter, sell 2. On the buy side, 58 even, 58 and a quarter, buy 1. 57.50, 57.75, buy 2. I bet you did know how to go ahead and try it. 1400 and the rest of it. No Minnesotans. Wonder if Oli and Lena's, they had their Oli and Lena's back in those days. Still some of my favorite story jokes. Okay, well, 2605 come out today. I think the focus on the stock market is just the passage of the Senate tax bill, which I actually think is going to get done. I think there's too much at stake. I don't, and I don't know how Mitch is going to pull it off, because I think the Republican Party is just happy as clams. Operating as the minority party. They've got their little bailiwick and they've got their power and they pass out the favors, even though the Democrats run and control it. Hell, the Democrats are running and controlling stuff right now. They call the shots, the Republicans don't. So I'm guessing, though, that the tax package is going to pass. And when that happens, we'll have finally a rumor fact trading situation. Then the focus will shift. Well, what will these tax cuts mean for business? Does it mean 3% growth? And you have to remember that I think under Obama, I want to say the average growth for 8 years was 1.5%. Like, you had 1 quarter where it was over 3%, and under Trump we've had 2 quarters now where it's over 3%. If the tax cuts encourage economic growth, then the stock market has come so far, so fast in anticipation of stuff. Everybody says, well, it's just got to sell. It's just way too high. No, it doesn't have to sell. It can move sideways for a very, very long period of time to absorb the excess. So we'll just have to see it stands. Okay to sell, failure to take out and hold 2605. And then 9 to 11 will be sell 2. They make us pay up to get in. This 98 to 2600. I'm going to put a question mark at 2600. I'd like to buy 95s to 98s. Maybe get a little lower, come down and pick up this area right in here. And then 90 to 92. I think there'll be a lot of talk and chatter, and tax bill not going to pass, market sells, tax bill going to pass, market rallies, that type of stuff. So we might have a little extra volatility to work with this week. I hope so. It's been pretty grim. I mean, I don't even think about making money on the Emini as our primary vehicle. I think crude and gold on Wednesdays is the way to play it, and the bond is there, can be there every day, although some days we don't have much volatility in the bond either. So this is going to be, market's going to be on hold until we see what the tax package is going to be, in my opinion. Going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. I will be back with you as soon as possible.